Let's check out the treehouse. Are you open?
You rap on the tree.
So at this point, I need to find something else to do. Is the antique shop open? It mentioned it was midday earlier, so maybe the antique shop is open now. I assume the church is going to open later in the plot. Has this guy and his pumpkin moved? Don't know what to do about you. He's not moved?
There is a small assemblage of farmers having a discussion nearby.
Okay, that's different.
There is the door of the antique.
I'll come back for you. Ah! Were they important?
Poking strangers in the street is usually considered bad form and may put you in a bad way. The farmers are deep in conversation. You think it best not to interrupt them with idle chit-chat.
How do I get this pumpkin?
The baby pumpkin doesn't look too happy here.
It's got to have something to do with the horse, but I'm not sure what.
This horse is only interested in eating those flowers.
Ah, indeed, a precious thing, yes?
Very.
For sale, might it be?
Not on your life.
Alright, we're just trolling this fellow now.
He would discover too quickly that it is not real gold if you simply handed it to him.
Ooh.
The fool's gold again shines the instant the coins leave your hand.
Okay.
Crystal clear water sparkles in the... There are also some shiny gold coins in the water. Leave the fool's gold in the fountain for now. You just might be onto something.
3 coins in the fountain.
What? Let me see.
Once again, that accent. Yoink.
The baby pumpkin seems a little more settled than it was with the merchant, but you sense it still wants to get home. You don't want to disturb the baby pumpkin any more than is necessary. Considering that this is a magical pumpkin, capable of thought and speech, eating it might qualify as barbarism, if not cannibalism.
Plants are alive too, chat. Alright, I need to stop recording shortly, but let's just give this pumpkin back to his or her master and see what happens. But I'm thinking the next port of call is the antique shop. And maybe the library. I've not forgotten about this library card.
My baby! Mama! Thank you,
Graham.
Thank you, Graham. Here, take this. Maybe this useless trinket of Hagatha will be of some use to you. Serves you right for not enabling me to protect my kids.
The pumpkin hands you a gold brooch with a beautiful blue sapphire. The brooch has an enormous sapphire encircled by 2 rows of glittering diamonds.
I think that's just a treasure.
It is a simple clay bowl.
I don't think that's gonna, like, act as a key to something, unless maybe we can put it in one of the sockets outside Hagatha's door.
The center stone is smooth to the touch. Being just an empty bowl, it holds nothing of importance.
Is there anything more I can do for you?
Me thirsty, Mama. feeling a bit poorly. After all, living in a bowl ain't too good for your health, you know.
No, I did not know that. What would make your baby feel better?
Fresh water, naturally.
Of course.
Not too sweet, though. In fact, the more bitter the better. My children are very particular about what they drink.
I will see what I can do.
Bitter water. My only thought was to go down here, going down by quite a bit, all the way to the bottom of the map, going to the baby tree because there was a spring there. King Graham was happy to drink from the spring, but that doesn't strike me as bitter water, so to speak.
You have run.
Get out of here. Again, I do wonder if these dudes are just obstacles that get in your way and you just make your way around them and that's it.
You are in a healthy. There's no reason. Repressing the urge to.
What can we do with that tree? Can I fill this bowl? I can.
You fill the bowl with the fresh spring water.
Okay, can I take that back to the pumpkins? Are they interested in that? Is that the correct water?
You pour water over the baby pumpkin.
Very fresh, but not at all bitter. My children prefer a bitter flavor in their water.
Bitter. We lost a point. So we can get a point for grabbing the water, but that is not the water that they're looking for. What about this?
You consider that this water might be fresh enough to drink, but then decide that more than a few animals might have bathed in it.
Bitterness.
Nothing.
Thinking maybe I could combine the flour with the bowl. They wouldn't be interested in swamp water. They would definitely not be interested in the sea water. Apart from the lake, which is just down here, I don't believe I've run into any other sources of water.
You consider that you can.
Okay. I need to stop recording now, but let me give this some thought. Right, so during that brief pause, I took the time to redraw my map. I think this is the final version of the map that I'm going to use, but it is clearly not complete. I'm going to have to scribble all over it and make more notes. And there's already an unhealthy amount of question marks all over it, which I need to scrub out or look at. While redrawing it though, I did have an idea, which involves the lemon. We've got a dude outside of town who is sick. And if he's sick with a cold or whatever, he was sneezing, maybe a lemon would make him feel better. I've also had the idea of perhaps combining it with the water that we found just a moment ago down south. I've given it some more thought, and no, I do not have an answer for the bitter water that the pumpkin is demanding. Let me just try this first.
There's no need to use that there.
Can I combine it with water perhaps? Because I've been told, it's never worked on me, that lemons and water or a lemon drink can make you feel better if you have a cold. And me wandering around like this also acts as a very good excuse for me to test out my map. So this should bring me to the water. Lovely. Along with the baby tree, which I do not know what to do with.
You fill the bowl with the fresh spring water. You can't eat. You. Repressing the urge.
Can we combine this perhaps?
Try that the other way around.
Okay.
After using your sword to cut the lemon's surface, you squeeze some of its juice into the bowl. Then you discard the lemon.
Score.
The bowl is now filled with lemon-scented water.
Can I grab another lemon? It should be 2 to the left. And 2 up.
You have run into an evil. You won't be needing another lemon.
Okay, we use it to manufacture the water. I have these two screens as blank on my map, no notes. Okay, will this work?
There's no need to use that there. There's no...
Okay, I've got the lemon water, but I don't know what that accomplishes. Handkerchief maybe? Cloth? What?
Here. This might help your sneezing.
Oh, thanks. Here, you can have this back now.
You retrieve the partially used cloth from the haystack.
Feel better?
Yeah, it's so good to be able to be...
There's our needle. I have questions. Why would you accept that back?
It is a large sheet of slightly unhygienic, yet still potentially usable cloth.
We have a needle. Not immediately sure what we're going to use that for.
There's no need. The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
Are they still sneezing?
There's a shiny silver needle lays on the ground near the haystack. You take the silver needle. It is a tiny silver needle. It reminds you of a dart.
My immediate thought was a lockpick, perhaps. A dart, okay.
The needle pierces your skin easily.
Is that death?
The needle pierces your skin easily.
Not yet. Can I combine that with something, perhaps? Can I combine these two?
Those items can be used together, but on what is the question?
I think we all know the answer to that question. Can I maybe do this?
Pinning that won't achieve anything.
Thinking that maybe I could dip it in the lemon juice and then sign that in invisible ink.
Pinning that. Pinning. Pinning. The paper. You smooth out the torn and tattered paper and read, "Curios I have, to the town do come, awaiting I am."
Maybe I can pin that to a wall somewhere.
It is likely that this haystack was piled here by farmers from the town. A faded blue sheet has been tightly stretched across it to prevent the straw from blowing away in the wind.
Can I poke the haystack?
There's nothing in the haystack. You don't need any hay, and the occupant probably does not wish to be disturbed.
I think we're done with that haystack, okay. So this dude is now gone.
You have entered the two buildings. In particular. This horse must have skipped lunch.
The horse is still here.
This horse is only interested in eating those flowers.
Would you like a drink?
This horse...
I'm surprised the flower doesn't work.
This horse is only...
Also, just very quickly, I assume this means that we can't use the cloth to get the birdcage. Actually, no, we got the cloth back. Maybe we can still use it for that purpose. There's a note on this door. Can I replace the note on this door with that?
There's no... You can't...
I can't think of what I would need to do in the library just yet. How to get that quill to sign the library card. Alright, so I've put it off for long enough. Let's check out the antique shop.
You are inside a cute little antique shop. Old furniture and knickknacks clutter the place. Against the wall, a low bench displays an assortment of items.
There's that word again, knickknacks.
Twin axes grace the wall above the front door. You wonder if they serve as a security measure for intruders. Ah, dragon fire! Oh, no, wait. It's just a mounted dragon head. Whew. An expensive-looking statue catches your eye. It is sculpted of white marble and appears to be the only item of any real value within the shop. You find it quite odd that this grand statue is situated amongst other ordinary items of far less value.
Please do not touch that. It is extremely valuable.
Sorry.
You are not too fond of axes, preferring your own sword as a means of defense.
It's not really our sword, it's the king's sword. Well, it's our sword, but it was the king's sword descended through... You know what I mean.
'Tis a tad too big to fit in any of your pockets.
Oh, so that's too big, but nothing else we've picked up is. Wow.
You couldn't even move it, let alone lift it.
There's the genie's lamp.
A rather beaten and tarnished brass lamp is positioned on the countertop.
I assume that's all we need here.
A large and incredibly hefty-looking mallet is propped up against the shelf. A small engraving on its head reads, Broggy.
Is that a reference to something? Because if so, I don't know what it is.
Some old shields are lying around in the antique shop.
Oh my god, there's so much stuff here.
You are inside. It's a weather vane with the obligatory depiction of a rooster.
There was something else around here.
A well-crafted lute awaits the anxious buyer.
Let's see, it's... what is that part of the lute called? I don't play the guitar, chat. There's that part, and then there's neck, and then the frets, and whatever.
A stack of plain-covered books gathers dust on the shelf. It is a crystal ball, fairly standard equipment for those of the magical persuasion. There are some vases on display in this antique shop. The woman's private living quarters are located beyond this door.
I don't think we'll get in there, just quietly.
You'd really like to know just what became of the rest of the ship.
I thought that was a wheel as in a cartwheel or something, not a ship's wheel. What else we got?
You are in. Apparently, this interesting-looking item is a Model DX cartridge retrieval unit.
Oh no.
Quite a useful little device. In another time and place.
Enough of the Space Quest 1 references, please.
It is a red sorcerer's hat. It is a tiny harp. How cute. Obviously, the Swiss haven't quite got the idea yet.
That's a bit of a stretch.
You are in. From behind this counter, the proprietor conducts her business.
Okay, I think that's everything.
The little old lady is tiny, with twinkling blue eyes. Her white hair is done up in a neat bun on top of her head. She appears at first to be in her 60s. Then you notice the sheer quantity of makeup plastered on her face, and decide that she may well be older than that.
Graham, don't be judgmental.
Placing your grubby hands all over unsold antiques may not be held in high regard. You've never needed one of these. You can figure out which way the wind is coming from all by yourself. Unfortunately, you are not versed in the skills for operating one of these. Upon closer examination, your keen eye discerns imperfections in the workmanship. Aha! These are clearly fakes. When you retire and begin building life-size model ships as a hobby, then you will become interested in acquiring things like that. If you thought that you needed a shield, you would have brought along your virtually indestructible magical shield from home.
That's very fair. We still got that shield and we still got the magic chest full of gold.
You couldn't even place. There are no cartridges here to retrieve. You don't need it, and apparently neither does Simon.
I've never played that. Was that any good, Simon the Sorcerer?
Your fingers wouldn't do the instrument justice.
Let me know in the comments, please. And once again, know that it's not an attempt to manipulate the algorithm.
This knife is too big. It would damage more than just your pocket. Placing your grubby hands.
Alright, let's have a chat.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you, dear?
Hello. Do you sell anything that would aid an ascent up a mountain?
Unfortunately, I do not sell climbing equipment or anything of that sort. This is really a specialist store.
Oh.
However, I do have an item which you might find useful. This lamp is said to contain a genie. Never tried it myself, of course. I do not believe in using magic to solve my problems. Nature has made us as we are, and we should be glad of that.
Uh-huh. How much for the lamp?
The old lady hesitates. You sense she wants more from you than your money. You hope it is not anything that you will regret.
A bird?
Well, seeing as how you are a man who seems adept at taking care of himself, perhaps you could do a small favor for me?
Somehow, you knew she was going to say that.
I once owned a beautiful nightingale, quite rare around here, but the sentimental value far outweighs its monetary worth. That foul old witch Hagatha has stolen it from me, probably to use in some concoction or another.
Her nose screws up in disgust.
So, if you could be a sweetie and retrieve it for me, I will trade you. The lamp for the bird. Agreed?
Well, I will see what I can do.
Do be careful. If Hagatha should spot you out of her good eye, then you'll be in for it.
One good eye, one bad eye. In the original, she had two bad eyes.
You have nothing more to say at this time. You have a rather be. Once you have retrieved the nightingale, Angelina will trade you for the lamp.
Her name's Angelina. We saw that on the sign outside. I don't suppose I can access the door behind you?
You know better than to poke around inside a lady's private domain, or in this case, a woman's private domain.
Good boy. Alright. First things first, let's go check out Hagatha's place.
The horse.
I was trying to use the horse for fast travel. We can't get inside the cave though. We've got the issue of two skulls with two holes in each, and if we try to cross the threshold, we get shish kebabbed. So I'm really not sure how to access it at this time.
So, you want bitter water?
It's a water.
That's right. So don't you go putting sugar in it.
Oh!
You pour the bitter water over the baby pumpkin. It seems to like that.
Thank you again, Graham. Here, take this.
The pumpkin reaches into her head and pulls out a candle, which she then hands to you.
That thing has been jammed in my head for as long as I can remember. I know it ain't much, but maybe you'll find some use for it.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Besides, it's really hard for me to sleep with that thing lit up inside my head all night.
It could be worse. There's a terrible joke there, but I will not make it. That thing is probably going to come in handy in about 5 or 6 hours' time, I think. Depending on how long it takes me to get through this game.
The candle is unlit.
We used that at the end of the EGA version to light up the basement of a certain castle. Anything else?
A word of warning. Hagatha has been talking about you. I heard her mention your name while she was muttering to herself. She does that when she's inspected her valuables. Anyway, I'd stay clear out of her way if I were you.
I appreciate the advice. Will Hagatha not be angered when she discovers you've given your candle away?
What's she gonna do? Turn me into a pumpkin?
Good point.
Besides, I could just blame the dwarf. He's earned himself a bad reputation from the day he moved here. Pity no one can catch him, not even Hagatha.
Do we need to capture the dwarf, perhaps? And if so, do I need to use the trap that I already broke?
If I may ask,
Appreciate all you've done, Graham, but I want to spend some quality time with my children. Now be a good boy and run some other errand.
They've gone to sleep.
You've already helped the pumpkin, and the mother wants to spend time with her children. Best to concentrate on your quest. You do not wish to disturb the pumpkin patch. It is home to a family. You've already helped the...
Alright, so we're done there. Just going to update my map to say that I found a candle. Okay, Hagatha's cave. Can I do anything here? This is clearly my next objective. To go into here, grab the nightingale. We probably need to use the cloth to cover the cage. And then head back to the antique shop. If I go in, I don't go in.
You saw black glow.
What do I do here?
It is a human skull with a radiant blue stone wedged into its eye socket. As you face the skull towards the image of the bat above the cave, you notice that its wing has faded slightly. However, you suspect that whatever danger the bat represents is still in effect. This skull is facing in the right position. You need not turn it back around. The skull looks like it is designed to be pivoted on its stake. However, there appears to be something missing which prevents you from turning it.
I assume you're talking about that gem in its eye.
That has no effect on the skull.
I suppose we can temporarily put this in here. Oh!
As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly.
Damn it.
Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball.
Damn it. Can I play with that?
The center stone is smooth to the touch.
Where's my gem?
The birth gem protrudes from the skull like a bulging eyeball. You'll somehow need to push it in further.
Okay. The needle perhaps?
That has no effect on the skull.
I'm thinking the mallet is too large, the sword is a no-go. Let's try everything here.
You gently tap the birth gem with the mallet, hoping not to break it. It budges only slightly. You give it a harder hit. It moves a bit more. You hold your breath and give the gem an almighty thwack. It pops into the skull.
This seems wrong, unless we're going to break the skull later to get the gem back. We've got no points for this.
With the birth gem now firmly in place, you turn the leftmost skull so that it faces the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The power of the two skulls combined has caused the bat symbol to disappear. You sense whatever danger it represented has now subsided.
I don't know if that's the right answer because we got no points for it.
The power of the cave is of the A searing beam of blue light streams from the skull's eye socket and concentrates itself on the bat symbol above the cave entrance.
What bat symbol? Okay.
As you enter, you are almost overwhelmed by the foul stench which molests your nostrils.
Molests?
It is obviously coming from whatever Hagatha is cooking in that large cauldron of hers. There are some things of interest on the other side of the cave, but you have no means of crossing over there safely at this time. A caged nightingale sits on the floor near the northern cave wall. The light from outside barely penetrates the interior of this cave. So long as you keep your distance, Hagatha shouldn't notice you.
It's not safe to cross to the other side, but as long as we keep the distance, we should be alright.
It is a crystal ball, fairly standard equipment for those of the magical persuasion. A glass dome, semi-spherical in shape, sits on the table. It reminds you of a shakeable snow dome toy that you once owned as a child. Unfortunately...
Okay, how close can we get here?
You hear Hagatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh. 'Twill make my complexion young and fresh.
Yeah, I've seen those adverts too.
Inducing time to reverse its sail. All I need is a sweet nightingale.
A gilded cage sits to one side of the cave. A beautiful nightingale flits nervously inside. The cage is locked and chained securely to the wall.
That's a problem. A needle, maybe? Lockpick?
Large, heavy logs have been piled near the workbench. Obviously, they are used to fuel the insatiable fire. Uh-oh, Hagatha has seen you.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
What's wrong with your chin?
You wandered into the witch's lair, and where you stood gave not a care. She soon saw you, a smile she gave. Your flesh, your blood, your bones she craved.
Nice. Okay.
Uh-oh, Hagatha.
Yeah, I cannot move close.
You are the gentleman.
You wandered into the witch's lair.
What do I do here? Nets
That
on
would
witch?
only serve to anger her.
Okay, the net doesn't work. What about a sword?
When it comes to might versus magic, all bets are on the ladder.
What was that?
When it comes, brandish
With bone and flesh.
a simple but elegant black cloak hangs on a stand.
Yeah, I thought that might have been a cloak. Let's see if we can grab it.
You need to get closer.
Really?
'Twill make my complexion
Being
young
as quiet as a
and
mouse,
fresh.
you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. Amongst sticky and disgusting spell ingredients, you find a tiny silver key and a peculiar golden ring-shaped device.
I thought we were going to put the cloak on.
This odd circular device intrigues you. It depicts several different symbols around its outer rim. The sun, a mountain range, a drop of water, and a cloud.
Oh, that's depressing. A key. What would you use a key for? The birdcage or the restraints.
The key would fit a small lock.
Can I get close to the birdcage or is that a no-go? Okay, cloth.
You silently drop the cloth over the cage.
She can't see us here. Let's unlock that.
Inducing time.
You slide
to
the silver
reverse
key
its
into the
sail.
lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground.
Grab that.
Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession.
Can I move over
All
here?
I need
Uh-oh.
is a sweet
No.
nightingale.
You wandered into the witch's lair.
All I need is a sweet nightingale.
Uh-oh, Hagatha has seen you.
Damn, it's very strict here.
You wandered into the witch's lair.
All I need is a sweet nightingale.
I've got to stay around the edges. Okay, I've got our burb.
Well, you are the gentleman.
Returning to the scene of the crime is never a good idea.
I really wanted to check out that snow globe. I don't know if we can get there though.
The cauldron's fire does not need further wood at this time, and you aren't really a contender for the Kalima annual caber toss.
The fluid of blood.
Being
with
as
bone and flesh.
there is nothing else inside the cloak except for disgusting spell ingredients, none of which you want.
I don't think there's anything else we can do in there. I would love to get to that snow globe.
Attempting to take the dome seems like an unnecessary risk. Are you sure you really want to try this? Uh-oh.
Well,
You wandered into the witch's...
I don't think we can grab it. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, how do we get our gem back?
You cannot remove the birth gem while the blue light is streaming from it. If you want to dislodge it, you'll have to use force.
And that's not something I want to do just yet. Because once we do that, we can no longer get into Hagatha's cave. I assume it's this, right?
You strike the skull with all your strength, and it shatters easily. The birth gem clatters to the ground, along with a multitude of bone fragments.
What about this skull?
You have no reason to shatter this skull.
But I want to.
Shards of bone litter the ground. The birth gem lies among them. You reacquire the birth gem. You have no desire to carry around fragments of someone else's skull. Shards of bone litter the ground.
And now that we've done that, we cannot go back inside.
You saw black glow.
Okay, well if I go back inside right now, she's going to spot me. Maybe something will change later, so at the moment, I'm going to leave the birth gem where it is. Hopefully it does not go walkabout, because I need to somehow grab the growth gem using perhaps a magic carpet or something else, or a genie's help. I think that's going to play a part as well. Hopefully this stays put. If it does not, I have a problem. Now though, I need to head back to the town. So if using the birth gem on the skull is not the solution, how else do we get inside there? Other than the brooch, which was given to us by the pumpkin, I cannot think of a way to get inside. Hopefully she just gives us the lamp and we can be on our merry way.
The cage still has a cloth draped over it. You remove the cloth from the cage. Looking at the bottom of the cage, you find that a letter has become stuck to it. You peel it off.
Oh shit.
The paper is slightly crumpled and dirty, having somehow become stuck to the bottom of a bird cage. You read the letter.
That's a lot of text, holy crap. My dear sister, it has been a while since my last letter to you and quite an age since we last spoke. Such are the busy lives we lead. I know of your preoccupation with eliminating your competition and wish you well in that ongoing endeavour. As for my part, the servant I have owned for the past 17 years is soon to come of age. Oh god. Spoilers for King's Quest 3, folks. It will almost be a shame to kill this one, and I realise I'm using the wrong voice. I need to use an evil wizard's voice, for he is quite adept at his chores. But the tradition must be observed at all times. I shall require a replacement in the not-too-distant future. Perhaps I should think up a new name for my next slave, though it is that much easier when I need only remember one. I've asked the father to notify me at once, should he hear of any likely candidates. Speaking of which, though it is in no way my place to question the will of the father, for surely he has the best interest of all his followers at heart. This voice is hurting my throat. Does he not spend so much time locating that item of legend which he has been seeking for almost a millennium? While he is not to be second-guessed, I do wonder, is he so assured of its existence that he is willing to turn his attention away from his flock for so long a time? Oh, are you talking about the monk at the church? Don't know. As for our remote brother, he seems increasingly interested in the ladies these days. I believe he has his eye on a royal couple who are expected to conceive a girl within the year. Or so the signs say. I must confess, if he's prepared to wait so many long years for the child's maturation before abducting her, then he has far more patience than I. I await your reply, dear sister, and hope that this letter finds you well. If you have the chance to speak with the father, perhaps you will inquire if his commitment to this item he seeks. I would advise the utmost discretion naturally. Your loyal, and by far the better sibling, M. So, I've not played much of King's Quest III, and I remember even less, but the first part of that, the first paragraph here where it talks about 17 years is soon to come of age, killing them, that is directly out of the King's Quest III manual. This is Manannan, and I do wonder if that is who Hagatha was talking to at the very start. Are Hagatha and Manannan related? I mean, you say sister, and we found this stuck to a birdcage in Hagatha's cave, so that seems like a reasonable assumption. I don't know if this talks about things that happened in the original EGA version, or whether it is referring to stuff that happens in the remake, but wow, I can't believe they did that. Okay.
The letter puzzles you, but you put it away and continue your quest.
We will not learn anything about that letter.
As you look at the bird, it begins to sing merrily. You poke the bird. It responds by pecking your finger.
Fair.
You offer the nightingale to Angelina. The sheer elation on her face almost makes the whole risk worth the while. She snatches it from you and proceeds to fuss over the bird. You wait for a moment, but it seems she no longer notices you.
If you don't mind, about the lamp you promised me in trade for the nightingale?
Damn,
The
dude.
shopkeeper looks up at you vaguely. She gradually remembers that there is another being in her world.
Yes? Oh, yes, take it. You'll have no beginning of use with it.
Don't you mean no end of use?
Of course. Whatever you say, dear.
You hear Angelina muttering cheerfully to herself as she exits.
Finally, I have the final ingredient for that marvelous youth potion. I'm going to beat you to the punch, my dear Hagatha. Serves you right for hoarding this sweet, juicy thing to yourself.
You feel a nauseous tinge in your stomach. Well, at least the lamp is now yours.
Okay, well played. Well played, game. That was Manannan's sister, very clearly.
A rather beaten and...
Well fucking played.
You take the old lamp.
You got me, game. You 1000% got me.
The oil lamp is fashioned of brass and has been tarnished. There's a spout at one end and a round handle at the other. The lamp is empty inside.
Okay, let's save and rub this lamp.
You rub the lamp and wait expectantly, but nothing happens. You're about to give it another try when a small puff of smoke appears at the end of the spout. It clears, revealing a note. As you remove it, the lamp disappears. You read the scroll.
Hell. To the unlucky fool who bought this lamp. As you may have gathered, this lamp no longer contains a fabulous genie, as my former master, praise him and his greatness, has released me with his final wish. However, as a consolation, please be advised of the following. The shopkeeper is not to be trusted. She dabbles in the black arts and keeps rather distasteful company. May these words reveal what lies beneath, and may your findings lead you to a higher position in life. So hard like a stone, and white like the snow, stands silence the man who guards what's below. May you forever know the beauty of freedom. Signed, Nibor Sima Will, Genie. Okay, what is that a reference to? That one I feel like I should know. Oh, that hurts. This game was in 2008. This was a couple of years before he died. You were indeed the best Genie, Robin. You really were. And I don't know if it's ironic. I mean, that word means nothing, but Zelda Williams did play a part in the Odd Gentleman remake. in Chapter 1 and a few others perhaps. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, you were the best of us. Are you referring to this dude?
You examine the statue up close. Aha! There is a hidden latch on it. The beautiful marble statue conceals a small latch. You flick the latch. A trapdoor opens up in the floor.
That is a massive trapdoor, holy shit.
Amazing. A trapdoor has opened up in the floorboards. A musty smell rises from the dark room below. If you wish to close the trapdoor, you should flip the latch. If you wish...
Alright, let's walk in.
You close the trapdoor behind you.
Hopefully there's a way out. I was not expecting this.
A beam of light filters through from a crack in the floorboards above. The wooden floorboards of the above room double as the ceiling for this room. How economical. A flight of rickety old stairs leads down from the shop above. The trapdoor is shut, but not locked.
Good.
You see a letter on the desk.
Another letter. Let's read 3 of these.
You read the letter sitting on the desk.
Oh my god. Angelina, once again, I put to you an invitation to join our illustrious community. Unsurprisingly, you have heard of its reputation through other channels. I personally encourage you to give it serious thought. We are not only interested in new membership from the majors of this world. This invitation goes out to all who believe that, when the appointed time comes, only the faithful will be rewarded. The rest of those poor, unenlightened fools will perish. All that is asked in return is complete allegiance to the Father. He has guided us from the beginning, and his power is far older than most. I know you are hesitant due to concerns regarding the dress code. Let me assure you that black would look simply charming on you, dear. My gratitude goes out to you for your flattering assertion that I would make a fine ruler of Kalima. What a shame that the former ruler has lost all interest in his homeland. I cannot blame him, however. The change struck him quite hard. To answer your earlier question, yes, I have acquired a nightingale. I'm using the wrong voice. They are most uncommon in this region. This is Hagatha, and yes, I am quite sure that it is the final ingredients required to complete my youth potion. As much as I would like to share it with you, I am afraid that a single nightingale will provide only enough solution for one person. In any event, I shall, of course, pay you a visit the moment the youth potion takes effect. Hagatha. There's no indication that they're sisters or anything, they're just acquaintances. So who is the father? I assume it's not Manannan. Otherwise, Angelina would know who that is, and... Did Angelina mention the father at all? No, Manannan mentioned the father. Manannan mentioned the father to Angelina. We might learn more about this in the VGA remake of King's Quest III. Damn it, I did not realise this was Hagatha. I thought this was a male person speaking to Angelina. Especially with this comment about black looks simply charming. There is some shady shit going on here.
You see the latest antiquities that Angelina had planned to sell unwary customers. Unfortunately, they're about as old as your boots and are probably worth far less. Carrying around junk is a pastime for a swindling merchant or a collector, and you are neither.
There's still time.
If you wish to take the stairs, simply walk up or down them. Removing the floorboards might attract unwanted attention to yourself. Besides, you can't reach them. You can't reach it. A large double-bladed broadsword leans against the bench. It looks like an expensive antique. Several large items have been covered with cloth to protect them from the dust down here. This is a secret room located directly beneath the antique shop. Obviously, the proprietor uses this room as a storage area for her worthless wares, although there may be something of value down here.
Like that red carpet.
You see a colorful rolled-up carpet. Several barrels are stored in this underground room. A tangled mass of jewelry and chains have been dumped into boxes and pushed up against the back wall. There is a soft pile of down and dust.
Alright, so let's try picking some of this stuff up.
You'd better not move anything in this room. Someone might hear you. The down is dirty, and you've had quite enough of dust from when the castle cleaners went on strike. You have neither the time nor the patience to go about untangling all of this jewelry. You much prefer the lightness of your own sword. Besides, this one is only an antique, and thus is probably not suitable for combat. You'd better not move anything down here. The room has a musty smell and feels a bit moist. You'd better...
Alright, so let's grab this carpet.
As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Din." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Hagatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence.
She outsourced.
For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please. I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing.
I think she's dead.
Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no. Drat. Now what was that spell for removing floorboards? Curses. I shall have to go back and look it up.
Damn it. Al Din, huh? I guess that's one way you can get around not saying the word.
There is a soft pile of down and dust. You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion.
Can we drink that and try and reverse some of the decisions we've made in life?
Curious as to whether the youth potion lives up to its name, you drink every last drop of the blue liquid.
That'd be a yes.
Planning to start your life over? Unfortunately, your fair maiden won't be around by the time you become interested in women again.
I'm not touching that, Jesus. Alright, I have the youth potion. What can I do with that?
Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Hagatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement.
Alright, let's use that.
You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more. You have no desire to go back there.
But she's dead now, right?
You are in. From behind this counter, the proprietor conducts her business.
Either dead or mortally injured.
Placing you. There are. You. Your. This. Place. You.
Now would be an ideal time to loot the place.
Placing. You have. The only thing that's meant to go on there is your money.
Yeah, I was really hoping that Hagatha would not go back there. Because we've got to go back there to retrieve the gem. But oh god.
Now you know how the floorboard spell works.
Shit, okay, we need to get out of here now. Anyway, like I was saying before I was interrupted,
Cautiously,
I was hoping that she would not go back. We've got to go back there anyway to get the gem, but I was hoping we could go back and take a look at that dome. And that is what I'll do right now, because if she's going to come back and check out the shop again to lift the floorboard, then maybe there's a chance I can go back into her cave and check it out while she is gone. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. But let's find out. Also, hopefully this gem is still there. If it's not, I've got a serious problem. Okay, the gem is still here. No.
Returning to the scene of the crime.
We do not get an option to give her the youth potion. She just takes us out immediately.